All right. Hey, welcome to the Sunday's Market Outlook. Let's dive into it real quick. But before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be doing this every Sunday. And let's get into it. So, honestly, we had some. All right, this is Bitcoin. So, I was looking at Bitcoin. Okay. But we go to. Let's take this off. If we go to our NQES, it was kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird end, right? We had we ended way up here, right underneath this daily. Um, where is this? Let's go to this. Hold on, right here. This is where we ended, right? Like I mean, we, yeah, this was so close. So we tapped the top of that daily, couldn't tap of the top of that on ES. ES, we everything just gapped to the upside. So let me put. I was listening to something here. Oh yeah, we're gonna listen to this. Where you at? Where you at? Come on. There we go. I'm gonna put it super low on the stream. If it gets flagged, it gets flagged, but I think we're good. So we had, I mean, we've had nothing but just consolidation, right? But we've been able to catch some good trades. We've had a lot of SMTs at the top, the bottom. Um, let's see. Yeah, and I mean, it's just been a weird this week. This whole thing has been sort of choppy, right? But we still capitalized on it using divergence, looking at all assets, and basically just playing what the chart told us. And right now, it's honestly it's interesting. We gapped pretty high up there just now. Are we gonna close the gap? If we're gonna close the gap, it better happen soon, right? Like, I don't want this to just chop around. Or are we going to continue higher? Let's take a look at what everything else is doing. RTI is moving into a new weekly opening gap. We've failed. We're still inside of the 12-hour gap. We've tapped into this 12-hour gap on ES. The top, right? We traded around the top. But currently we opened above a daily fair value gap. Honestly, I wish I knew what that meant, but I don't. So I'm just going to look for plays with SMT, right? Tomorrow. We also, I don't think we have news tomorrow. Let's see, do we have any news? We do Monday. Yeah, flash PMI services at 9:45. That's interesting. FOMC member speaks. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Okay. This looks, yeah, this looks interesting. Wednesday looks good. Final GDP, quarter over quarter. And then Thursday, core PCE price index. That looks pretty good. Not a super wild week if you ask me. And then you have everything going on with like Tesla. So I don't know what to think. I'm gonna do my best to kind of just stay on the right side of the market, right? I don't want to um anticipate things. Like, I can have a bias, right? But I don't want to just anticipate anything. I just want to make sure we have the right stuff. Dude, come on, get me out of here. Ooh, this week, perfect. Apply. Yeah, flash PMI 940. This is all I'm looking at, right? Like 9:45 Tuesday, 9 a.m. 10. 10 should be pretty good. New home sales, honestly, there's times where it's like there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden you get these big moves. Unemployment claims, that's gonna be good. On Thursday, yeah, nothing crazy, but Monday, oh, there is, yeah, we have the news, so something to keep in mind, right? Not, yeah. All right, so let's just kind of do it top down, and I'm gonna show you guys what I've been seeing here. This is what I'm looking at, right? This is a monthly. So these are my levels for ES and NQ that I kind of did sort of an overview on. And I went back, I erased everything, and I just, these are going to be my solid levels that I'm keeping on the chart because I want to see these become targets, draws on liquidity, right? And they've served as imbalances and supports for price and previous legs, right? So, oh shoot, yeah, okay. What's interesting here, right? We've tapped into this weekly BPR, and I'll show you that in a second, but we have this monthly fair value gap over a rejection block, right? So it's an inversion rejection block, right? This is a beautiful, like clean level that we can look at and trust, right? For price, if it wants to make its way down there, and that's, you can see that one reflected right here. This is the 3-month fair value gap that I found here, or what is this? 3 week, my bad. I gotta change that. Yeah, there's a 3 week. This is a 3 week fair value gap that I found there. So I'd still consider that as sort of the same thing here. That's the same area that I'd love to see us. If we want to target that, that would be where I want to see these two assets trade into. I marked in a couple of fair value gaps high, monthly fair value gap high, BPRs and stuff. But ultimately, right now, I have no real bias on the market. Like if we're just looking at ES and NQ, nothing on the monthly has really been super interesting. We have this monthly SMT here, right? Let me move this for a second. Monthly SMT. We have that monthly SMT there inside of a 3 week inversion for value gap, right? Around that area where I can expect for price to, move higher. And we are. You can see how we've covered more than 30% of this move already, right? If we do this, no, not simple. Let's go here. We've covered, yeah, 38% of that move has been pretty much covered here. So can we tap into this weekly fair value gap, this inversion, right? Is that what we want to do? Is that what we're going for this week before trying to find an direction? Looking at the weekly, you can see we have fair value gaps in here, imbalances. This is the top of a fair value gap with a this is also a new weekly opening gap, right? So we have a bunch of sort of, think of this as a wall, right? This is a wall where you can see, where you can expect for price to basically have a hard time moving across, right? You can see that same wall, this one here, that new week opening gap, or sorry, that weekly fair value gap on top. You've had all kinds of rejections here. Sorry, that was for them from the previous video, but you've had rejection, 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 right? Finally a break, and then, right, and then you had this to the downside. Are we going to see that again? Is that what we want to do? All right, this price is going to begin to just move into here, right? Do like wick and then boom. Or are we going to continue higher? I don't know. To me, I'm still, it's hard to pick a side at this point, right? Until we get some sort of higher time frame SMT, which at this point we don't really have any. Even with this opening to the upside, none of the assets have, if we look at the weekly, none of the assets have taken that's intact, that's intact, that's intact. All of these are intact. There's nothing invalidating this push higher, right? So we could continue higher. I would want to see one of these get taken before a drop lower. Now, is that going to happen right now? I don't know. Are we going to fill the gap and then move higher? Possibly. I don't know. So on a higher time frame, and I think this is what we're here for, right? On a higher time frame, this is looking pretty good to the upside. Right? If we go to the weekly, this is looking pretty good to the upside. We've rejected, right? Rejection, open back towards that direction of that weekly gap here on RTY, towards that gap on NQ, towards that gap on where's ES? This should be YM. No gap here, right? But is again, like we've this would be YM would be one that I would expect to fail around this area before any other one, right? Because we're already hitting this sort of wall here, rejection, right? And then YM is trading into that with no fair value gap. That's something to keep in mind. So no fair value gap there, right? While these other ones are starting to move to the upside, um, doesn't mean I'm bullish. I'm just letting you. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right now as the chart is moving as we're playing price. All right. ES, same thing. We have that weekly fair value gap there. We've got this inversion. We've got this BPR we've rejected, right? Price has already done what it wanted to do momentarily, right? We saw this SMT. We have an SMT art with RTY, SMT with YM. And so there's stuff in play here to continue us higher, right? This move just accumulated all last week. And now maybe we pick direction. So let's move down to the daily. You can see this, right? And let me show you guys a level here on NQ, because this is one that I've been eyeballing, and I know my charts are pretty messy over here, but dismiss that for now. Actually, let me see if I can find I think it's the unadjusted, yeah, right here. So if we go to the, I hate this adjustment stuff, but just bear with me. Okay, so we have this, right? Let me draw this right here. So we have price, right? Trading around that area right now. And look at, if we just draw this box here, right? You can see how price reacted to this, right? Broke above, right? And then we started to get, this was their push, the push to the upside, right? Rejection here. And now we're starting to reject, or sorry, rejection to the upside, but then we broke below and then we started to reject here. This is an important area for price right now. And if it's going to break, it's going to break with, like, we just opened up, right? So we're above it at this point. Are we going to just see a continuation? Is this gap going to hold for us to continue higher, or are we going to fail this immediately? And so far, it's so good, right? But markets just open, so just be cautious with that. You are in a place where price can literally just move in any direction with strength. So keep that in mind as we're moving into tomorrow, right? And so I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that we have this sort of, I'm gonna call it a bear flag, right here. Boom. If you're a trader, patterns trader, bear flag right into that area that we just talked about. And this is a beautiful setup for us to break that. Boom. If that's what we want to do, right? Again, no SMT as it stands. There's no SMT for me. There's no, I don't have a direction for price right now. All the SMTs from last week basically have done their job. If we go down to the 12-hour, we'll see that all of these SMTs have completed basically what they wanted to do, right? Because we got this SMT here on Friday. You know, we got, was this one it? This was basically a draw on liquidity on Friday on all asset. ES did not take that. Yeah, ES did not take that. So that was the last SMT that got put in for us to push higher and the market on the upside. Also, I want to show you guys, if you guys didn't see the last video, I basically calculating manipulation lags for where price is most likely to draw to. So let me just, if we're gonna, I know that this was the manipulation lag. Look at where price could draw to, right? So intraday, this is looking pretty bullish, obviously, right? We had this Friday was super bullish, right? We had a consolidation. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we had a push to the upside. I still think we can continue higher, right? And that's just what I'm seeing with from a standard deviation. This is what I'm seeing from what price is telling me right now. And I'm not trying to force anything. Doesn't mean we can't continue to just, chop around in certain areas. Like we can definitely chop around, come back down into this gap, fill it, or maybe halfway, and then this gap pushes up to the upside. But I'm not going to expect for price to do something, right, just because I see, or my bias is there. Like, sure, maybe even if I am bearish, like on a higher time frame, it doesn't mean price needs to do what my bias is, right? So for example, why am I bearish on a higher time frame? Well, if you remember, if you were here, also guys, join the Discord, link in the description below. We talk a lot. There's a lot of awesome people there, great traders, and just a community for us to get better. So join below. And I forgot I was eating my sandwich, but this is a little bit more important right now. Okay, so what do we do here, right? Boom, SMT. Oh Lord, let me just clear all this. No, keep them. We'll keep all of those and clear everything else. So you can see how I have my SMTs up here, right? And these, here's the thing, these already did their job. The job for this SMT was to take us lower, right? Draw on liquidity. Then the job on this SMT is to take us higher. Where? I don't know. And this is where we're at. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. There has to be an actual target for or for price and where it's moving, right? So hold on, guys, 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me just hold on. Okay, so then we have this, right? What do we want to do? So let me show you why, if again, the last video that I uploaded covers all of this, but measuring standard deviation from this move, right, took us all the way down to here, like precise. Now if we zoom out to a higher time frame, let's look at the 3 hour. We zoom out to a higher time frame. I'm gonna do this so you guys can see it a little bit better. If we zoom out to our time frame, I know that we have an SMT right here. This was an important SMT for me, right? This right here. So I know that a lot of this is SMT, right? And with that, I was like, all right, let me look for, is there a change in the state of delivery? The change in the state was right here at 19955, right? That was a change in the state of delivery, pullback, right? And then a drop. So for me, right, on a higher time frame, if this is high, low, failed high, low, right here, right? If this becomes my manipulation move, right? Is there here's the question that I'm always asking, is there a target for this? Right? Let's look at the overview real quick and see if we can find a target for that for a moment, because I want to show you guys how I'm getting sort of my hard time frame analysis and bias, right? So is there a target here at -2? Well, we have this was a 3 hour fair value gap. This is a 3 hour BPR. That could be a target, right? And it has to make sense. So like right now, I would be basically fighting against this SMT, right? And because it is a higher SMT, it's still forming. So we're going to wait. And this could be invalidated in this next 2 weeks, right? But I have to be aware and I have to think, okay, that is there. And I just need to remember that that's there. So another thing I want to show you guys is this. Let's look at on the calendar. I'm always looking at not just this week, but I'm looking at, okay, what is it? Let's do this. Go to Forex Factory and go to this month, apply settings, and then look at the overview and then look at what's going on, right? And you can find where things are going to align. If you're familiar with quarterly theory, you'll understand what I'm doing here. FOMC, this already happened. Let's go to next month. Because I'm looking at this as an April around this area, we can expect a huge movement, right? So we did we're almost done with the accumulation quarter, meaning there wasn't a lot of movement. And I was honestly, as much as I wanted to have FOMC take us and whip us like to a direction and pick direction and just be done with it. That just didn't happen, right? And I can't force that. I can't force that into the market. I can't just sit here and be like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen because of FOMC. I have to look at time and price. I have to look at time and price here and say, oh well, we are in an accumulation quarter, right? Look at this. This is and when I say quarter, it's like a 3 month, right? From January to April is accumulation quarter. Obviously, we had a huge distribution, right? But as soon as we moved into this quarter here, right, from the last week of this quarter, it becomes accumulation to me, right? And inside of accumulation, we have manipulation, distribution, and then here coming up on the 23rd, which is this week, we have a manipulation quarter inside a higher time frame accumulation quarter. If that doesn't make sense, just hear me out. It'll if the more you hear it, the more it'll make sense. I promise you guys. Okay, so with that, that's this week we took out a lot, and so I would be waiting for us to move into these highs, right? Take out some of these highs overnight or tomorrow. Take out some of these highs and then start looking for entries, either for continuation into fair value gaps, right, like we had, or if a reversal shows itself, then I will be playing a reversal for that, because right now we technically never closed below or above this daily fair value gap. So how am I seeing this? I'm looking at this failed close above a daily fair value gap as this isn't confirmed, right? This isn't confirmed for me to say, hey, yeah, we're moving higher. We did open above it. Are we gonna fail and close back inside? Then this would basically tell me, hey, this was a fake out. That's all that tells me, right? But I can't just be married to my bias. So I'm looking at this. If I'm looking at this bullish, here's a bullish for all of you guys that are bullish here on this market, which you should be, right? This Friday was a bullish day. So, and we're moving to the upside. There's no real continuation to either side, but something to keep in mind, right? So if you are bullish, we have this bullish SMT here. I'm not going to write it with that. I'm going to do it with this so that it stays clean. Bullish SMT, right? You can see that right here, bullish SMT, and boom, everything took that except NQ, which was, this basically tells us, hey, NQ is the strongest asset. Bullish SMT, right? If we look at this, our CISD for this bullish SMT was right here, right? Look at how price is respecting this area right here, right? Rejection, right? Break below, trade in, above, push higher, rejection, 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 right? And then this sort of fake out, right? This manipulation to end the week. This is still in play. This bullish model is still in play. Now, where does this bullish model take us, right? If this is gonna hold, if we are bullish on a higher time frame, right? If the model is showing us that, and we do this, if this is on a higher time frame, it's this, but I'm gonna measure this. Is there anything? Let me measure it here so we can see where we're going. And this is exactly that video that I made earlier. It was on using standard deviation. I'm gonna measure both of them, okay? Boom. So let me scoot this one so we can see them side by side. Standard deviation of both manipulation legs, higher time frame and sort of medium time frame. On a higher time frame, the manipulation 2.5 takes us to this weekly fair value gap low. You can see there is this fair value gap from here to here, right? This is an OTE of the range where we can expect price to move into. Also, on the other manipulation leg, right, 4.5 is taking us into that gap as well. Look at that. So right now, price is telling me, hey, we want to probably move around or into this area if we're able to push above all of this, right? First target, -2, right? Again, it makes sense, right? We have this beautiful rejection. Look at where we have that rejection, -2 right here. This is where price may want to push if that model is in play, right? And I'm not going to target anything else. Price could keep going for all I care. But if I'm using what the chart is giving me, then I'm going to target -2 standard deviations, because that's what the chart is showing me, right? And this is on a higher time frame. So I can come into the market with that in mind, knowing that the higher time frame model hasn't failed to the downside, right? And neither has the bearish model. If we look at it, I believe it hasn't. Let's analyze it together. The bearish model is still in play. This is the bearish model right here. From here to here. This is the bearish model, right? And if this is our, this is what I'm saying. If this is our SFT, and if this is our manipulation, like that's a big old manipulation. Like do we want to go here? Are there targets? Look at these targets: weekly inverted fair value gap, monthly fair value gap with rejection block. Is that where we want to go? Do you see how I'm aligning targets and bias on a higher time frame to basically calculate what I want to see, what I want to do, right? So what now I'm just gonna wait for us to trade back into the bottom of this gap, right? Trade back into the top of that daily fair value gap on NQES, and then see if I can find anything there. I need structure, and if you don't have it, join the Discord. I put this indicator there. It's basically just a reminder of what I'm doing. So high time frame POI or sweep, right? SMT, and then measure. Do we have a target? Is it clear? If we do, let's wait for a CISD, and then we get an entry, right? Weekly, daily, 6 hour, 3 hour, 1 hour. So high time frame, lower time frame, and micro time frame. And that's how we execute on these markets. So stay safe out there. I don't have a clear base. I really don't have a bias that I'm married to right now. We are within range. And just remember, we have this SMT here. It's still valid. We have this SMT here. Still valid. 2 SMTs are valid. High time frame. One to the downside, one to the upside. We haven't rebalanced any of this, but we have accumulated. We basically landed at a rest stop, right? And now we want to take direction. Do we want to continue our trip down, or are we going to turn around and go home? Which one? What? Like, you have to ask yourself these things, right? And so that's it for me. That's it. I don't think I want to do anything else. I'll probably hop onto the Discord and just chat there for just a little bit while I eat my sandwich. But that's it, you guys. Stay safe out there. You listen. I'm telling you, join the Discord. It is a great group of people. We encourage each other. I've grown from it. I've grown so much from it, and I want more people, like-minded individuals, to join. And if that's you, just click the link, first link in the description below. If you like this, please subscribe, like, do all the YouTube stuff, whatever. What is it? It's right here. Do this right here. Do that. Okay. And if you didn't like it, do the thumbs button twice, and that would be great. Okay, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else for me here. I'm gonna head over to the Discord. I'll disconnect here, but thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:30 for market open.